Patsy White is a longtime League member, and she's a well-known affordable housing advocate here in Marin County. And she's with us today to give us a little bit of background on some of the affordable housing issues here in Marin. Patsy?
Thank you, Donna. Well, what is affordable housing? A definition is that it is a household that pays no more than 30% of its income for its housing. For an example of this is a family of 4 with 2 children, with each parent working, let's say at $15 an hour, would qualify as low income. And what do you mean by low income? It's a little technical, but it is set by the median income in any given community. And I think you may have noticed in the papers recently, the median income in the county of Marin is over $116,000. And so low income is put into various categories. The extremely low income is considered 30%, which brings it to $34,000 for a very low income. The low income is from 30 to 50%, and then there's a moderate income, 50 to 80%.
So you need that level of income
to qualify for affordable housing.
For affordable housing.
Right. The people who want this affordable housing are people who we see every day and we work with every day. Teachers are some, nurses in hospitals, the people who serve you in a restaurant, people who serve you in the grocery store or a retail store. All of these people are not making enough money to be able to stay in Marin because of the high cost of housing. So affordability is very, very important. And one way to look at this is, for example, if there's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that's renting for $1,500, the person who would qualify for that would have to make $60,000 a year.
Wow.
So it's difficult. But we do need a spectrum of people in Marin. And there is a way that the communities can help with that, and it's called inclusionary housing.
And what's
and
that?
What is it? Yes, exactly.
What is that?
That's right.
There's a lot of terms here.
It's a community policy or ordinance, if you will, that says to the developers that they must have a certain percentage of affordable housing when they develop. And it's different in every community. They have a different percentage. In some communities, allow a developer to put in lieu fees into a housing fund in that community instead of building the homes itself.
So there's no statewide regulation?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
But they recommend that inclusionary housing is good. Just for your information, there's some going on right now. There's a new inclusionary development in Corte Madera called San Clemente, which is all affordable. There is Whole Foods is building a project in Novato in which some of that will be low income, very low income. And also in Loch Lomond and San Rafael, there's inclusionary housing.
Is that the one that's having the argument with the grocery store?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. But it's there it is. How come this helps us and makes a difference in our community? Well, first, it seems to me affordable housing is about family. And it's about keeping your children and parents together, and they don't have to commute great distances. One example of inclusionary housing in Larkspur called Edgewater Place. There was a woman there who was able to rent some space, and she had a job at the hospital, and she had several children. And by renting there, over a number of years, she saved enough money so she could buy her own home. So that shows the importance of apartment rental or rental apartments for people. And secondly, I think affordable housing also is about neighborhood and community, where a neighborhood is where you can work and buy your groceries, and your children can go to school nearby, and you can walk to it or get to it easily. And another place where this has happened, there's a woman who worked in Point Reyes, and she had to travel 60 miles every day to go home, and she was able to get some affordable housing at Point Reyes, and now she walks to work and her child walks to school.
That's great.
So
That's
that
great.
helps a great deal.
just family by family, individually, yeah.
Important. Some people think that affordable housing might lower their value of their home and so forth. And there has been some study done. A marketing specialist did look at property, particularly in Mill Valley and in Tiburon, and compared it to affordable housing that was in the neighborhood, and there was no measurable difference in the property values at all. Another example of that is in Novato. There's a facility called Mackey Terrace, which is for low-income seniors, and it is entirely surrounded by market-rate homes, and those homes have not gone down in value because of Mackey Terrace. The economy may have done something about that, but it has nothing to do with the affordability that's there.
Patsy, what about the impact on traffic? This comes up all the time.
Oh, it certainly does. It's important. Well, the Metropolitan Transportation Commission found that people who live and work within a half a mile of where they live very often use transit when it is available. They also did, in their study, also showed that low-income households generate half the trips a day that high-income households do. Seniors only use about a quarter of the trips that a high-income household uses. And those sorts of things show the benefit of having affordable housing where people can live and work close to where they live. And also, it helps the environment because there are not as many cars on the road. That's an important thing. Having housing available in our communities also helps employers, all employers. They can keep their employees because they have a place to live nearby, and they can also have more ability to hire because there's affordability around. So that's very important to do. And I think some of these statistics, if you will, help us to understand that affordable housing is a benefit in our neighborhoods and in our communities, gives us a variety of life styles, and contributes to a future that could bring a sustainable society in Marin.
Oh, now what can community members do to help facilitate getting this kind of housing in their community?
Well, I think one of the things that is interesting, the state has a mandate that every community has to have a housing element, which is part of the general plan. And the housing element designates affordable housing that's going to be built in that community and where those sites will be. And I think it's one of the things that community members can do is can pay attention to what's happening in their own community about that.
Can they watch it? Can they find that information probably in their local city council agendas and so forth?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. The Planning Commission and the city councils can do that, so it's very important.
Thank you, Patsy. And we're going to keep an eye on these subjects of housing and transportation and land use and the interrelationship. I think we'll continue to follow this periodically with our this program.